Hi everyone, this is Nu-Trix the Synth Guy. Today I'm answering a question from a subscriber, and it's a question that I read often. It's about how to use the TR-09 with a DAW. In this case Ableton Live, but I had a question with Logic, and there's also a question about the MIDI, how to get in and out, and the fact that you have sometimes double the information for the sound. Let's try to figure out of everything that works, because it can become really awkward, because what we have today with these boxes like the TR-09, it's so powerful that in this little box, what you have in this, you have a beatbox, a sound generator module, and an audio in, a digital audio card, an audio out card, and a MIDI in and out, all in one box. And that's where sometimes it gets funky. It all depends on how you work and what else you have in your studio. But let's start with the possibility that you only have a TR-09 and your laptop and you want to make music. If you start with that, there's a good chance you're going to use this as your sound card. Now, the problem we have with this is it's a sound card that receives signal and sends signal. And that's where you might have double information. So if you go into Live, I'm in Ableton Live, I go into Preferences, I check that in my audio, I've got my TR-09 as an audio in and my TR-09 as an audio out. And I go into MIDI and I check that at the bottom here where I've got TR-09. I verify that these are all on. So I can track, sync, and remote in and out, so it can be slave or master for in between Ableton and TR-09. So now if I have my little beat here, I press play, I've got sound. Okay, I've got sound, I've got signal coming in. Like I explained in another video, the TR-09 can have what they say up to 10 outputs, but actually there's a main out, so the master main out with stereo everything. Then you've got a stereo, well, it's not stereo, it's double mono. The output 3-4 is mono, but twice. 5-6 mono twice, 7-8 mono twice, and 9-10 mono twice. So it's basically you've got 4 outputs, not 8, 4 plus a stereo out. So you get like 6 outputs, not 10. That's, I guess they're going to do a firmware update at one point, but that's not the case right now. Right now, if you want to use it, you say, I want, let's say my kick on 1 and 2, or USB 1 is going to appear on 1 and 2 here. I want my snare on USB 2 is going to appear on 3 and 4. Actually, no, sorry. If you want your kick on 3 and 4 to be alone, you send it on USB 1, it's going to be on 3 and 4 here. If you put your snare on USB 2, it's going to appear on 5 and 6. And toms, let's say you put it on USB 3, it's going to appear on 7 and 8, and let's say hi-hats and cymbals, going to put it on 4, and it's going to appear here on 9 and 10. So that's why I've got 3, 4, if I press play, I've got 3, 4, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Okay? Now, if you hear the sound coming, recording in this, in live, it's on normal, you only have the signal coming in. But what I hear from the output of TR-09 is the signal coming in and the same signal being played by the TR-09 at the same time. So that's where people go, I hear the signal twice. Yes, because what you have is a signal coming out of the TR-09, getting into Live or DAW or Logic, whatever you have. You go into this, and then the monitoring sends it back into the main out, and because you chose the TR-09 as your audio interface, you hear the original sound being played by it, plus the playback coming from the computer. So you have it twice. So you hear that sound doubled. So that's your problem. Now, there's no easy way to get rid of that outside of thinking about your work flow. And it all depends on how you work. If you want to just play music from the laptop in sync with the TR-09, don't record it as you do that. Just use the TR-09 as a sound device, and if you want to record it, but don't listen to it. Mute it. You just mute these signal so you don't hear them, and then you record multiple inputs at the same time. So you're still going to have, let's say, a live jam between your DAW and TR-09, and if I record now, you know, I can record on my 3 tracks at the same time. I don't hear any doubling sound anymore, because when I listen to the output of the 09, I hear the original signal only, not the recorded one. And if I had something to play here, it would be sent to this also. I would hear what's coming out of my DAW plus the original signal from TR-09. That's how it would work. And you still record, you would still be recording it. So later on, you can actually take out your TR-09 and you have the performance here. When you click on it, you get your sound. You can use these and mix them. Now, somebody was asking a question about, can you put effects on it while you play live? In live, yes, but the problem if you do that, you can't do as we just did here. It means that the output should not be sent back to the TR-09. It has to be sent to another interface. So you're sure that you don't have the doubling effect of the sounds. So it means that if you do that, you need 2 sound cards. One coming from the TR-09 and one going to your speakers after that. So you don't have the doubling effect. So that's one thing. The second thing is that you will have effects, but it will be inserts only. If you add an effect here, whatever it is, you know, drag something on this track here, well, this effect will be, even if I go record here, I don't hear it because I'm not in monitoring. I would be monitoring, I can hear it. Okay, that was recorded. I go stop here. You see it moves, so the recording is good. And it also recorded even the muting that much. Okay, I don't want to get that. So it is not part of the sound. It is still an insert that you can get rid of at any moment. And that is exactly what you want, because unless your workflow is to really capture the live event, you would like to be able to re-edit later on your signal. So if you got the raw source without effects, it's easier to adapt the signal to whatever you want when you go to the mixing stage, because it's easy to put too much reverb or the wrong delay, and then when you listen, when it's all recorded, you go, well, I could have chosen something else, and it's too late. You can't undo that. But in this case you can, and that's what you want. You want this to be separate. You want the sound of the raw signal to be recorded in the computer and the effect to be something you hear but you can change if you don't like. So it's not permanent. It's still something you can, you know, play around with and change if you want to. So that's the second thing. Now the third question was, how can I get rid of the problem that when I press play I got MIDI information coming in? So if I press play, I've got the MIDI coming in. If I load, let's say, an instrument, I'm going to put just an instrument here. Okay, and I activate the MIDI in. I've got something playing. Hear it? Okay, so that is the drum pattern, you know, drum notes, MIDI notes being sent to live, Ableton Live, and then it triggers the bass sound that I have there. Now, if I don't want to hear that, there is this section here. Instead of saying MIDI from all ends, you can even select where it comes from. Say, I don't want it from the TR-09. I can say it comes from another instrument, my keyboard instead of this one. So you can, right away, you can say, I want to send it, let's say for computer. If I press play again, I don't have it. It's gone. So it's gonna, now it responds to the keyboard, okay? Or if you still want to keep the same TR-09 at the same place, you can say, well, I don't want to use, because if you press play, you'll see TR-09 runs on channel 10. By default, I'm going to switch back to TR-09. You see it's on channel 10. Well, I want to hear channel 1. And you put your keyboard on channel 1 and you press channel 1, you'll have, so that you're able to separate these things, okay? So that should be how you get rid of these little weird problems that this triggers what you don't want to, and you hear the signal in double mode, but double mode is normal if you use this as your only sound card. Now, what I do is I use this as I send it to my mixer, and then record into the mixer and send back the signal as one of the strip of the mixer. So I don't have the doubling effect because I only listen to what's coming out of the computer and not the original sound and the output when I do this. But I only do this when I record. If I'm just composing, I don't record. I don't put it in through the computer because there's going to be a delay and I don't want to hear stuff late. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I really tried to figure out an answer for your questions, and I hope this helps you, figure out some of the problems you might have in hooking up your TR with your favorite DAW. That's it. See ya.